James Bell, the Boxing Source, here with another video. And this video here is to talk about the WBO welterweight champion Terence Crawford. He has an upcoming bout in Madison Square Garden against Gidigis Kavaliauskas, where he defends that WBO welterweight title against his mandatory. But he just had a sit-down conversation with Andre Ward that is posted on ESPN YouTube page, so you could check that out. But there was one particular segment in that video where Andre Ward brings up the topic about race in boxing, and that it seems like the black fighters have to act a certain way in order to become successful or to make the most money in boxing, or to have a certain level of popularity. Um, Andre Ward brought up Floyd Mayweather, as Floyd Mayweather is the template or the example, and Terence Crawford said that he doesn't have to be that way, and he said that you said African Americans say that we have to act a certain way, or be flashy and things like that, and that he's not like that, or that the boxers have to talk a lot of trash. Well, and he says he's not really like that. And for me, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a controversial comment or whatnot, because there have been other fighters that have basically said the same thing, that they don't have to act a certain way in order to become this so-called persona that they have to, put out there for fight fans, or for fans of specific fighters, for them to go watch them, either whether they watch them on TV or they buy the tickets to watch them fight. And with Terence Crawford is like he doesn't have to do that all the time in order for him to be the man that he is. He talks his trash when he needs to talk his trash. And as a boxing fan, or those that cover the sport, we have seen that. He's talked trash to his opponents, and he's talked trash to other guys that could be potential opponents, including Errol Spence Jr., who a lot of people feel that would be the biggest fight to make in the welterweight division at this particular point. But for Terence Crawford to have a persona, to be flashy, to flash money, to flash cars, to flash jewels, or whatever, he says that's not him, and that's not going to be him. And I'm not sure what can be made out of that for some people, as far as like an overall reaction is concerned, because it's basically the same persona that like an Andre Ward has had. On the Boxing Source radio show, I've had Gary Russell Jr. on, and he's the same way. He says, look, I don't have to basically do all of that in order to be who I am. And the thing about it is, when he does that, it really doesn't, make much of an effect anyway. Because we've seen Gary Russell try that over the past few months, and as we see, it hasn't led to a fight with him and Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz ended up moving up in the division, and you'll probably see Santa Cruz end up fighting Gervonta Tank Davis in 2020. While Gary Russell Jr. Still ends up fighting his mandatories, or whoever else is out there, because no one wants to step up and fight him in a unification bout. So here with Terence Crawford, I mean, he's fought the likes of Jeff Horn there, and Amir Khan, and he has this upcoming fight against Gidigis Kavaliauskas, and it's just up to the fans if they want to go ahead and watch Terence Crawford. He doesn't have to, bring up a whole persona like a Floyd Mayweather, or like an Adrian Broner, who's done basically the same thing as far as like being flashy and flamboyant and quote unquote acting a fool, according to some, in order for people to watch him. And like I said, with Floyd Mayweather, part of the thing that made a lot of people watch Floyd Mayweather was to see if Floyd Mayweather would lose. And that's kind of what Adrian Broner adopted up to the point to where he fought Marcos Maidana and ended up losing. But he still had that same persona, still carried that on through the rest of his career, and he's lost a few times, but still, his overall persona still has been able to get him high profile fights against the likes of Mikey Garcia and earlier this year against Manny Pacquiao. So while that does work for some people, for Terence Crawford, that is not him, and he's not gonna roll with that. So as far as like his comments are concerned, reference to uh, you know, I guess black African American fans saying that Terence Crawford should talk more trash and be more flamboyant and flashy, and that he's not like that. That's I don't think that's much of a big deal. So that's pretty much all I have in reference to that. Like I said, you got Terence Crawford fighting in New York City on Saturday against Gidigis Kavaliauskas to defend that WBO welterweight championship. It will be on ESPN, um, family of networks there. So be sure to check that out. You have the Boxing Source radio show coming up Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Blog Talk Radio, and you can subscribe to the Boxing Source here on YouTube. And we have the podcast available on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.